Alright, welcome to Famous First Times, a podcast about VIP bangs.
I'm John.
I'm Ian.
And we're going to be looking at superstar shag stories. Ian brings them to me. I'm going to read them out, interpret them in my own way. And we'll do like a deep dive on what we think's going on there.
It's not really a deep dive though, it's more of a shallow dive.
Not really looking into that much, just having a laugh. Alright, well, who we got then? Who are you going to tell us?
Alright, this episode we're looking at one guy, one giant arsehole.
Brilliant. Let's fucking see what he's got to say for himself. So yeah, chuck another pop star at me. Is it a pop star or a film star? Who've we got?
We've got pop star.
Yeah.
Sting.
Sting.
From the Police.
Yeah.
And his solo career.
From Police and the Sting. Yeah. Oh, he's known for his love skills, isn't he?
I thought you might bring that up, yeah.
His tantric business.
Well, you know the truth behind that.
What, is he not really a tantric love god?
Well, what did he say? It was that he shagged for like 7 or 8 hours. That's what everyone thinks, isn't it?
7 or 8 hours, just kept on coming, but just could keep going.
Yeah, that's the received wisdom of Sting's sex life and its tantric sex life.
Yeah.
Bollocks, not true at all. He spoke about it a couple of years later because it was obviously such a big story.
Yeah.
And he was saying, no, it involves like going for a meal and going for a walk and holding hands and shit.
So it's just living your life and just calling that sex.
Because in that case, I've been shagging for about 20 odd years constantly.
Yeah.
One long, big 22-decade shag.
Wow.
So yeah, apparently that's what tantric sex is in Sting's head, leading up to it and like having a chat and
just any time between one jizz and the next jizz.
Oh, it's just all one big,
it's all one big
jizz.
shag.
See, I'm not having that. I think there's a definite start and an end to a shag. Probably involves
penetration.
Well, like a nipple, and then a jizz. Nipple to start, jizz to end.
Yeah, you've got to be touching someone pretty much constantly.
Someone's rude bits. Rude bits have got to be
involved.
Yeah, and messed with. And the end is a cum.
Ta-da!
From either side. Right, most shags have a jizz at the end.
But yeah, it's definitely rude bits. You can't just go for a fucking meal.
Yeah, that's not shagging. If
you're sat in a restaurant and the waiter comes over, can you take this outside? This is filthy.
Actually, do you know when that story first came out? There's an interview with Magazine. It was Bob Geldof and Sting being interviewed. And Bob Geldof goes, I'm just a 3-minute man, but Sting does yoga. I bet he does it for hours. And that's where that come from.
And he just like ran with that.
So, yeah.
Just pretended that he did. And then started backtracking like months later.
When that's all he became known for. His defining thing. But yeah, Geldof accidentally causing that. I really like that. What do you think of Sting, regardless of all that, what do you think of Sting?
Oh, he's really annoying. I mean, he's an easy target, isn't he? Him and fucking Geldof and all them lot, they're just like, they're annoying to think about. They're like, the kind of people you just want to punch. They're just so fucking full of themselves and they think they're so worthy. And they're just fucking pop stars.
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
And like, everyone sees him a bit like that, I think. Or a lot of people do. Just a bit of an annoying, self-righteous cunt.
Yeah. All right. What about music? Sting's solo music or the Police? What do you think of them?
The Police are pretty good, but yeah, all his solo stuff is just dreary.
I like that one solo one. What is it? Fields of Barley.
Oh fucking hell!
Is that
you like that song?
Yeah. It taps into me all 80s synthy, pompous singer-songwriter thing that I was off.
Dad pop.
Fields of Gold it is. Fields of Gold. Yeah, I got a soft spot for dad pop.
So yeah, he's like talented, done some alright stuff. I could never I could never admit to being a fan of either the Police or Sting.
No, you wouldn't say in polite company, would you? But we both agree that...
Yeah, he's got tunes.
We both agree, awful man.
Awful man, awful lyrics, talented at making something listenable.
Yeah. How do you think he had his first bang?
Well, now you've told me that Tantra thing was all bullshit, I just like... My image of him is completely blown. So yeah, he's probably just like fucking everyone else, isn't he? Just... fucking hell. I've got to think of a fucking ace story every time you ask me this. Because, you know, I'm trying to like...
You don't have to come up with a proper setting, just like young and... or whatever. Fucking else.
You want me to paint like this picture?
Vivid scene. Alright, calm it down, Jesus.
Alright, so just with his girlfriend, like maybe going out with her for a couple of weeks, and
so
then
bog standard, boring.
parents
ordinary.
went away and they like caught an hour to go up and have a shag in the box room or something.
Right, alright, bog standard. Nothing that exciting, nothing wild for Sting. Because he's a boring man. Boring virginity story.
Yeah, I'll cut for that.
But yeah, speaking of the Police, you know how the Police were formed, don't you? Famous story.
Is it famous? I've never heard it.
You don't know this?
Honestly, no.
From a Wrigley's chewing gum advert.
What, did a theme tune?
They were on an advert. They weren't a real band. They were just put together to act in this chewing gum advert and became a band after that. Right, yeah. 1978, the Police filmed a TV commercial for Wrigley's Spearmint Gum. Wrigley's asked the band to dye the hair blonde to look more punk rock.
Wrigley's made them punk rock. Sting. That's his fucking real name. I'm not calling him Sting. It's like when you have like a mate and they're like, all right, guys, from now on, I want to be known as the Wasp, and everyone's like, fuck off. You call fucking George. Call me the Wasp. And for some reason, this guy has got away with it, and everyone just calls him that.
Do you know what his real name is?
No.
Gordon. Gordon Matthew Thomas Sumner.
This is how we should refer to him from now on.
Yeah.
Gordon.
Gordon. Right, this is from Gordon's book, Broken Music, a Memoir, and it was published in 2003. And it's his first wank.
Let's hear about Gordon's first wank. I lie in the darkness on the attic bedroom and above the dairy, where I've successfully ejaculated into my hand for the first time. I have no idea what it is that had exploded into my hand in the dark, only that it has the viscosity and temperature of blood. The delicious thrill of the moment is tempered with terror that I have injured myself and that my body and the sheets of my bed will be bloody mess in the light of morning. A light would waken my little brother. This is my secret, and already I can feel the welts on my legs from my father's hand. Fear, guilt and fumbled ecstasy are already forming the seductive cocktail that will wallow in the warm pit of my loins long after this first intoxication. Right, so there you go. Sting's first wank. Yeah. Just thinking he'd like ruptured himself. He must have just thought dick had exploded blood and he'd ruptured his fucking balls or something. I didn't know what. But he was rubbing himself. He knew what was happening, surely. You know. Do you know what? Don't he talk like a fucking wank? The delicious thrill of the moment is tempered with a terror that I have injured myself. Like, fuck off, man. So he's talking like that about having a wank. About having a teenage wank. This is Sting's problem, you know. This book was horrible to read. Everything's just the most pompous, overblown, overwrought load of shit. I wrote a couple of lines down that just get the vibe across of what I had to suffer through for this. Right. Talking about music and stuff. As a kid, I had no prejudices about what kind of music I liked. I listened to everything with the rapt attention of a neophyte. Neophyte? Neophyte. And then he's on about some other thing, some girl or something later on. Her attack is inexorable, destroying every defensive redoubt. He thinks he's like an old English fucking literature master.
Every line is full of this kind of shit.
Yeah, it's a true pomp and ceremony of Sting's personality, isn't it?
And he's a working class Geordie. Where does this come from? What the fuck has happened to him to make him be so obnoxious? I wonder if he was annoying as fuck as a kid as well.
I bet he was, yeah. I bet he always had designs on being like a poet and an artist. Always thought that he was a bit better than everyone else.
Yeah.
Just because he learned a couple of long words.
Yeah. There's another story, and he's talking about his best mate Tommy.
Yeah.
And his best mate Tommy knows a load of like rude terms like pearl necklace and titty roll.
Yeah.
And he's talking about it, and he ends this paragraph with, Tommy doesn't go to church and claims not to believe in God. He's my first existential hero. He's talking about titty rolls and pearl necklaces, and he turns it into that.
It makes him an existential hero. That's not even a real fucking phrase.
No. It's word soup. He's just throwing big words out.
Yeah.
That's Sting.
I'm writing a book.
I think.
Look at me writing a book.
It's going to be the greatest book. I've read through a lot of books for this, and I've never hated anyone as much as I hate Sting.
Does he actually have sex in it?
Yeah, he does later on. But before we get to that, there's a little story about his early stirrings.
All right.
Here we go.
At home, we have an album of Julie London's. On the cover, she is wearing an extremely low-cut evening dress. Put the edge of your hand over the bottom of the cover and she looks completely naked. This provokes such a stirring in my loins that I have to run outside and climb the lamppost in the back lane.
Fuck.
But that only makes it worse. I can stay up there for hours. My nocturnal adventures too are becoming obsessive. Now that I know it's not blood in the morning sheets, and my mother is too embarrassed or feeling guilty to say anything about the less than discreet evidence of my activities. Besides, I'm still sure that this phenomenal discovery is mine alone, not having confided it to any of my friends, who I'm convinced simply wouldn't know what I was talking about, even Tommy.
That's fucking amazing. I mean, the obvious question, what's he fucking climbing a lamppost for?
To get that turned on, it's the only way of dealing with it is to climb a lamppost.
There's no rhyme or reason to it.
Hey, check it out though. I can stay up there for hours. Little nod to his tantric stuff.
Oh.
Tantric wanking up a lamppost. Yeah, he's bragging. He can stay up there for hours. No one gives a shit. No one cares, Sting. It's not that good that he can stay up a lamppost with a boner for hours.
But does it not mean that he's enjoying it so much, being up the lamppost? Because he is saying being up the lamppost turns him on like even more than Julie London's half-naked body.
That thing with the album cover, putting your hand over to make it look naked, that's the saddest thing I've ever read. So sad.
That's like, this is what people had to do before the internet.
Yeah. Fuck me, caveman shit.
Fucking, I want to do it. Let's find the album and look at it. Let's try and not get so excited when we see it that we have to run up a lamppost.
The thing is, Sting doesn't even say that for laughs. He's not like joking. He means that as a really meaningful moment, guys, and just someone like me with all my energy just had to climb.
But it makes me think of like a Tom and Jerry cartoon or something. His tongue was like, his eyes were popping out and his tongue rolling on the floor, and it's just like just like spinning off smoke behind him, and he just climbs a lamppost like steam coming out top of his head.
I'll tell you what, that bloody Julie, she looks bloody gorgeous.
Get down here, Garden! Get down here right now!
No! Stay up here! No, ma'am! No, I'm not coming down! I've got to stay up here for hours!
Get down here right now!
No!
I'll tell you what, Julie London was often in evening dresses.
Yeah.
She's just always wearing
extremely
evening
low
dresses.
cut evening dress. It's not this one, is it? With the like.
Oh, I think it could be
just covering up that little black bit.
Yeah. This thing was definitely
just doing that. If you want to experience Sting's first wank for yourself, Tommy Pin to Google. Julie Is Her Name album, and just cover up that little black bit that you can see at the bottom of the picture and start fucking wanking.
Try not to get too excited.
Start your engines, boys. Do you reckon that's it?
Almost definitely. Well, Sting, get in touch. We'd like to know which album it was. So drop us a mail and we'll interview you.
Look, someone's cropped that one, so it does look like Sting's first wank.
Because it's Sting, Sting thinks he's invented wanking. Because he's convinced, he's convinced this phenomenal discovery is mine alone.
Sting, man, get a grip of yourself.
Right, shall we have a look at when Sting starts dating?
Oh, yeah.
He starts going to clubs to watch bands and to meet women and stuff.
I will eventually work up the courage to ask a couple of the pretty girls to dance, just for the sake of form. But it's usually a waste of time. I ask, they grunt their approval, and then they ignore me for the duration of the song, staring at the ceiling, glaring at the ill-suppressed giggles of their friends, checking the location of the precious handbags. In fact, looking anywhere but at me. I'm frustrated and they're indifferent. When all else fails, they are always the plain girls.
Fucking hell.
They are usually ignored in favour of their prettier sisters and are often happy to be asked. They are much more fun having been forced to develop personalities, unlike the stuck-up virgins tottering around their handbags in the centre of the floor. That winter, I became very friendly with a girl called Mavis, who is actually gorgeous, but has somehow developed a sense of humour and a sophisticated view of the world that doesn't revolve around her makeup mirror. Mavis can also open a brown ale bottle with her teeth.
So he likes him. So he's a prick. So he's a fucking prick. But he goes on about oh yeah, I found a loophole here. If you ask a girl who's a bit fucking boring looking, you can get them to dance. But then he doesn't make that his thing. Then he just goes off and gets off with someone who is really good looking, but thinks they're not as good looking.
Yeah.
Just someone with low self-esteem.
Yeah.
Well done, Sting.
Yeah, oh, well done.
You found your niche.
Doesn't he come across horrible here?
Yeah.
They are much more fun, having been forced to develop personalities, unlike the stuck-up virgins. Like, fucking hell, man. What?
Yeah, still using virgin as a diss, when you're an adult.
And he's writing this thinking he's the pure Alan Partridge, isn't it? Needless to say, Sting had the last laugh. God, it's crazy how bad he comes across. And as if they ignore him for the song, they're fucking dancing with him. They're not just stood there
staring at the ceiling,
laughing at him with a mates.
I don't think they were laughing at him. They were dancing with him. They just, he's just paranoid, isn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, he's
paranoid. Really low self-esteem. I mean, have we got pictures of him as a kid? Because as an adult, when he was in the police, he weren't that bad looking, were he?
Yeah, he's not ugly. Oh, there he is. Good-looking kid.
Yeah, that's him, probably teenager, isn't it?
Yeah, he's a good-looking guy.
Yeah, they weren't laughing at him.
He just didn't have the... Well, I think we can tell he was a bitter guy.
Yeah, and thinking that this pretty girl somehow developed a sense of humour and sophisticated worldview. Like if you're good-looking, you can't have a personality. Such a fucking crappy, old-fashioned way of thinking about people. And you do hear people saying that kind of shit, and it's bollocks.
Yeah. That doesn't revolve around a makeup mirror. Everything is just bristling with resentment. Mavis can also open a brown ale bottle with her teeth. I don't know why I put that in.
Well, next party girl and a bit Geordie.
Don't forget where I come from. We drink brown ale there.
So now we've got his first girlfriend.
Deborah.
Deborah Anderson is my first real girlfriend. We met on a double date with a friend of mine from the JM, John Madgin. I went off with her friend who had a terrible cold and spent most of the night snuffling into a sodden handkerchief. Apparently John didn't have much luck either. So we all met up a week later in the pub, and somehow it is Deborah who ends up in my arms, and John will walk home alone. Deborah is a beautiful girl, tall and shy. She stoops a little, embarrassed because of her height, but she has a wide, full mouth. And she smiles like a toothpaste model. Skinny legs and long dark hair. Despite our star-crossed beginning, she and I adore each other from the first moment, and it is obvious to everyone who sees us together. We had explored our first intimacies like children, making blood promises in the dark, attempting to secure the volatile cargoes of the future in the fumbling, silent exchanges of our lips and hands.
Fucking cunt.
These were the tacit contracts of sexual risk. The unspoken bonds of shared danger and novelty and longing. You possess this innocence, but once like a memory of Eden. And that it has come so late in my teenage years made it so much more poignant.
Oh, what a fucking vile bastard.
How much do you hate him?
He's just like, stop talking like... He can't talk like that in real life.
Fuck knows.
He can't.
Maybe he's just trying too hard because, like you said, he's writing a book.
Some people do, don't they? People talk fucking bonkers in the biographies. They're, getting carried away with themselves, thinking they're really important and thinking the language that they're using is enriching the reader's experience. Not thinking that you want to hear a person speaking in a book, in a biography.
Do you know what all this makes me feel like? It's like being trapped in a tiny room with Sting right in my face, his breath stinking of garlic and cigs and shit, and just ranting on at me, just boring on right in my face, and you can't escape. That's what it feels like.
And you're like wincing and turning your head from side to side, and he can't even tell because he's had too many glasses of wine.
I've got to tell you about the volatile cargoes of the future in the fumbling silent exchanges of his lips and hands.
Oh, it's beautiful.
It's like ugly. It's ugly prose, that. It's ugly words. Volatile cargoes. Fucking bollocks. So they all meet in a pub, and Deborah ends up in his arms, and John will walk home alone.
So he steals his mate's girl, and he's like gloating about it, really, isn't it?
Gloating, yeah. And they're saying that Deborah's beautiful, but she stoops. She stoops. Skinny legs. Fucking... Ugh.
Yeah, she stoops a little embarrassed because of her height. So he's picked someone who's insecure about herself, even though she's like really attractive, because he preys on these girls with low self-esteem.
Might get done for libel. Sting might sue.
Fuck you, Sting. Come at me, bro.
This final bit, it sums up Sting. It's his theory on the virgin birth.
In later life, I would have a problem with the virgin birth, wondering, I hope not blasphemously, why, having created the miraculous and sacred mechanism of sex, God would see fit to bypass it in order to send Christ into the world untainted by his own invention. It just seems like one miracle too many.
I mean, he's got a point, hasn't it?
I can't. Do you know what? I don't know what he's on about. I can't unpick his bollocks. What's he on about? What does he mean there?
Well, I mean, he's questioning God, and he's questioning God's logic of creating something and then not using it. Because he's created sex, and sex is so great, but why is he not using it to bring his own son into the world?
Right.
I think it sounds like something Richard Dawkins would argue.
Do you not think he's coming at Sting's like saying, well, no one else has thought this. I've come up with that disproves God. Just in passing, towards the end of his book, I'll dispute the nature of God.
It's an interesting insight into his late night philosophising.
It's an exhausting insight into Sting's late night philosophising. There's no one I'd rather meet than Sting after reading his book.
Yeah. Pure pure trash human.
Bullshit. What do you think? Is Sting full of bullshit? Sorry, is Gordon full of bullshit?
Gordon is fucking 100% bullshit all the time.
Seeping out of his pores.
Yeah. And it's not even... It's not even the stories. I don't even care. But I mean, he didn't climb that fucking lamppost. There's no way that happened. Don't know why. I don't know his thinking behind any of the things that he says. So I just can't believe any of it. I just won't have any of it as truth. So no, 10 out of 10 for bullshit. What do you reckon?
I just hate him so much. I believe that he had a wank over the Julie London album cover, but I just think he's oblivious. He doesn't realise how badly he comes across. The way he's mean about and bitter about these women that he's trying to get with. So I think he's revealed himself without meaning to.
Yeah.
So I think he's quite honest about that.
But I don't think he knows what's true and what's not. I think so. It's hard to pick out, like, because he definitely believes all that's true. All those women, all those girls that was dancing with him were laughing at him, and all them girls that didn't like him didn't have a personality, and all the ones that did were insecure and they only went out with him because they hated themselves. You know, he thinks all that's true, and probably none of that was real because he's living in his own fucking stupid fantasy world.
This is Sting's worldview, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's Sting's worldview that we're hating the most here. That's the most offensive part of this.
And that would be accurately described as bullshit.
Yeah. Sting is a big steaming pile of bullshit.
Okay, can we play my game again?
Are we doing this every time? You're going to play that every fucking time?
Right, okay.
If we get complaints about this, we're getting rid of it.
Is he woke, or should he be cancelled? Is he a new man, or is he a bastard? Is he enlightened, or is he a sex pest? Let's find out when we play Woke or Cancelled.
Cancelled. Cancel the fuck out of him.
Get him fucking cancelled.
And never ever let him be uncancelled. Never ever let him come back. I don't care if he puts an apology on Twitter. Just don't let him back.
Sorry, famous first times. I have revised my entire life and all my misgivings. You're still talking like a twat. Fuck off.
Fuck off.
Delete yourself. I'm not doing one of these again, Ian. Don't bring me such a horrible cunt ever again. You promised never to bring me such a terrible man.
I've got a bit of a cunt for you next week, I'm afraid.
Oh, never mind.
Anyway,
thanks for listening. Let us know if you've got any sex stories that you know about. Even if they're just like, shit you've heard. Just
rumours, anything, don't be true.
Just make something up. I can't be arsed. We're not going to fact check it. Get in touch on
07896 493 664
or fft@giveover.co.uk.
Oh,
we did not get com.
No.
Come get the comms.
Someone's got it, some woodwork business in America.
Yeah, fft@giveover.co.uk. Follow us on Instagram.
Famous First Times, all one word.
Follow us on Facebook.
Give Over.
Yeah.
Twitter, YouTube, Give Over.
Yeah. Be back on Thursday for the next episode of Famous First Times.
And that's the penultimate episode, and yeah, like I said, it's another cunt. If you like the cunty ones, you'll love it. If you don't
listen.
Leave it. Yeah, skip.
Or listen and then give it a 1-star rating. Alright, cheers.